Okay, welcome to HalfPint Cooking. Today we are going to make fruit pizza. Now to make this fruit pizza, we need to make the crust, right? Now the crust on a regular pizza is made out of bread, but this pizza, this fruit pizza, is actually made out of sugar cookie crust. So you need to make the sugar cookie recipe that we've provided, and we have a video for that and everything, but instead of, so when you're done with the cookie crust, you don't need to chill it at all. But you need to get a sheet pan and you want to spray it, and you just want to spread that dough out carefully. Add some extra flour on top and just spread it all over your sheet pan. Okay, and then you're going to bake the whole sheet for at 375 degrees for about 13 to 15 minutes or until it's golden brown. So it takes different, I don't know why, but today it happened to take about 17 minutes, whereas when I've made it before, it takes about 13 to 15 minutes. So it all just depends on your oven. Make sure to start out at a low time, like 13 minutes, and then just keep checking on it. Okay, so you want to put it on a cooling rack if you're in a hurry. You want it to go faster. The cooling rack just helps the air flow from the bottom and all around it so it cools quicker. So the spread is you need 16 ounces of cream cheese, and you want it to be softened. So this has been sitting out for about an hour, and it's nice and soft. And then you need a half a cup of granulated sugar, and you're just gonna mix it. You can use a third less fat cream cheese if you want, or just regular. This is just regular. So you wanna mix it until it's like a nice spreadable consistency, and then just wait for that cookie crust to chill. And while you wait, you can also get your fruit ready. So the fruit that I really like to use is kiwi, strawberry, mandarin oranges, and bananas. And to add a little extra color, you can add some blueberries if you want. And then there's also a glaze that goes on top of it. So we have the cookie crust, we're gonna put the cream cheese spread on, we're gonna put the fruit all over it, and then we're gonna do this glaze. So I'm kind of cheating a little bit, and I put my cookie crust in the freezer so it can chill a little bit faster. I'm not one of those big fancy cooking shows where I can just like, putting and it's ready, and I don't have all the time in the world. I got 6 kids. So next we're gonna make our glaze, and so you need 1 cup of sugar, and you're gonna put it in like a medium-sized saucepan. So 1 cup of sugar, and then you need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Now cornstarch is a thickener, and so this glaze is gonna get nice and thick because of this cornstarch. After you mix the sugar and the cornstarch, you're gonna give it a little stir, because if you don't, you're gonna get clumps, and you don't want it to be clumpy. You see the smoke from it. You don't want it to be clumpy, you want it to be a nice smooth glaze. So, I also got my fruit ready. I cut it up, my kiwis. I do wait for the bananas until the very end, until I'm ready to like place it on the pizza. Okay, so once you get the sugar and the cornstarch, you add 3/4 of a cup of water. Okay, and then 1 cup of orange juice. Now the orange juice and the acid from the orange juice is gonna help preserve the fruit, so your bananas are not gonna be going brown after you spread it over the bananas. And then you need just a pinch of salt. You mix it, and then you're gonna let this come to a boil. And once this comes to a boil, you're gonna cook it for 1 minute. Now what that does is cornstarch has kind of this starchy flavor, this like texture to it in your mouth, okay? Cornstarch, right? It's starchy. So by boiling it out, once it starts to boil is how it's gonna get thick, okay? So you can let it boil for 1 second and it's gonna be thick. But if you boil it for longer, it's gonna get that weird texture out of it, and so that's why you wanna boil it for a minute afterwards. Right now it's very liquidy, and then after you let it boil, because the cornstarch doesn't really activate until the boiling stage. That's kind of cool. It's kind of really fun to watch. So you'll want to stir that consistently. You know, you can let it sit for a little bit, but make sure you're kind of keeping an eye on it. Okay, now you can see the consistency of the glaze. It kind of turned to like clear, and it's nice and thick now. So this is called like nappe consistency. Nappe, I think, if I remember correctly, in French or Italian, means napkin. So what that means is when you get a spoon and you put it in, and it coats nicely the back of your spoon. See, there's no holes in it. It just nicely coats the back of it, and like a napkin, right? So nappe consistency, and that's what that is. Okay, so we're ready to do this. Our cookie crust is cooled down. we are going to just spread our cream cheese mixture. I like to start out by like helping it out and by putting some in all four corners, you know, just a big dollop, so it doesn't have to spread quite as far. Some other fun things that you can do with this fruit pizza is you can make it holiday specific. So if you wanted to make it ready for the 4th of July, then you could put like strawberries and bananas and strawberries and bananas and make rows of that. And then in the corner you could do like blueberries for the star part. For Christmas you could make, like use kiwis to make a Christmas tree. Just whatever holiday, if you want to make it just a little more fun, you can do that. You can also make these into little individual cookies. So just like you're making a sugar cookie, just make a circle, put this as the frosting, and then put some fruit on there and put a little glaze on there. So after you get the cream cheese spread, try to make sure to get it all to all of the edges. You don't want to do a double layer. You want to make sure everything on here is a single layer, and you just spread the fruit. Like my kids just love to do this part. I like to do bananas towards the end to make sure that they get covered by the glaze. Okay, after all of my fruit is spread, I'm just gonna get the glaze in a little ladle, and I'm just gonna carefully just pour. Don't get too close to the edge because it will run that way all by itself. It doesn't really, just a little trickle by the edges. Sure it all gets covered. You might think, I'm gonna make this without the glaze. Don't. Like, follow the recipe. Because there's a reason for the glaze, and if you eat it with the glaze, you're gonna realize what it is, and you're gonna want every bite to have a little bit more, because it's just so good, and it complements the whole fruit pizza so nicely. So now this is gonna chill for 2 hours. I know it's a really long time, so plan ahead with this. And it actually tastes good for up to about 2 days, and then it starts to get a little bit soggy. So make sure to plan accordingly and eat and enjoy it. I have these lids that I like to use when I put things in the fridge. So I'll put my lid on it, clean up my mess, and just patiently wait those 2 hours. Anyway, that's how we make fruit pizza. Thanks for watching HalfPint Cooking. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And that's about it. The smoke is like getting in my lungs. Oops. Weird.